Well, let's talk about how your offense is coming along here in the first couple weeks of camp.
You know, I think it's good. I think one of the things I try to challenge the guys with is to pick up where we left off spring mentally. You know, because obviously with transition, there's always change and, you know, different terminology and a lot of different things they had to handle, different approaches. And so I felt that was one of the big things we did. We came out, you know, early last week when we just started. I thought we picked up there and did a good job of that. And, you know, now it's the details, in my opinion, that I think we're still lacking. I think they're working hard, they're busting their tails, but we have to be a little more detailed in what we're doing. And hopefully now as camp goes on, most everything's in, that we can really improve upon that.
What's been the working rapport with Coach Hagan and Coach Kapalovic, just working with those guys to make sure every position group on this offense is as polished as possible this camp?
Oh, it's been great. You know, I mean, I've known Coach Cap for a long time. He and I go way back. He's an excellent offensive line coach. And then, you know, Hags with his history and the position, all of it's been good. I mean, I'm blessed to have the staff I have, very experienced guys, and I don't have to, I know their positions are getting coached, you know, and the details are being stressed, and so I feel good about it.
They've mentioned having a running back rotation in there. How do you envision that playing out? Is that kind of ride the hot hand? Do you have a feel for how that rotation might work out?
You know, I don't know. I think that's a challenging question. I've been involved in that in the past, and it is hard because, as you know, some guys get hot a little bit after they've been going, and when you're constant rotation, that's a challenge. So I don't know. I think as we continue to go this week, I think some things will reveal itself, you know, because at that position, it's more the number one thing I'm concerned about is the ball. And we have to show good ball security, and so that's always being evaluated with those guys. And then when they don't have the ball, that's what I want to know what they can do. I think we've got very talented guys. They're showing some really good big play potential, but what do they do when they don't have the ball? And so as we continue to evaluate that, it'll be interesting to see once we get through this week another scrimmage opportunity, how, if it is still more by committee because we're very parallel, so to speak, or if one begins to shine a little bit more.
With that receiver group, there's so many talented guys, and we've heard about so many of them shining at times during camp. What's the difference for you in terms of guys that are, there's talent in catching the ball, but in terms of them actually getting on the field? What are you looking for to separate guys there?
Well, again, I think it's a little bit when the ball's not coming their way. You know, we've really tried to stress in running the football, it's a team effort, and that team effort needs to begin with the receivers. I mean, it's amazing when a receiver goes in and blocks or gets that apex player or the corner or the safety, the running backs see that, and I think it does so much for our team. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at, again, details of alignment, splits, assignments. You know, as we begin to add things and add more wrinkles, can they handle that, and then see how they do.
I think it was 22 guys caught a pass in the scrimmage. Was that an encouraging sign for you?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, it's always good, obviously, when you have more talented guys, then hopefully it challenges the defense in a different parameter, that they can't focus in on one or two guys, and I feel very confident. I mean, I think that particularly the wide receiver room is very skilled, and obviously they have demonstrated that so far.
Is there any part of Steven's game, maybe in particular, that you've challenged him to kind of up this fall camp?
Yeah, a lot parts of it. You know, I think to give Steven credit, he's been in a tough position with you know, a lot of transitions. You know, I guess I'm probably his third coordinator position coach in his time here, and that's a challenge, you know, because all of us, football's kind of all the same, but yet it's kind of different. And so, you know, him learning a new terminology, so I really try to challenge him mentally and see where he can do, and then kind of the details of his game. He has unbelievable arm talent, but I'm more interested in the rest of his body, particularly in the throw game. And can we get that where it's a little quieter, and that then he can be a little more balanced, and his consistency and accuracy can even raise to a new level.
We saw LaVisca play like 5 different positions last year. Mel was telling me this summer he wants other guys to do some of those things as well. Yeah. Are you seeing other guys step up to where they can be versatile? Maybe not 5 positions, but where they can be versatile in different spots?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some guys, and particularly some older guys that have been around that have played quite a bit of ball, that will have that potential, absolutely. So we're continuing to kind of investigate that and see what we think is best.
Steven obviously has never really had to throw the tight ends on a regular basis. Do you think there's a learning curve there, just with the quarterback being comfortable targeting new receivers that are tight ends, or is it kind of just, it's another body at the end of the day?
Yeah, I don't think there is technically. To me, it all goes back to what's the basis of the play, what's the basis of your eyes and your read mechanics. And so if the tight end's a part of that, he needs to go through that process, and if the tight end's there to deliver the ball. So I don't think that hinders a quarterback in any way.
Oh, the Buffs offensive line the last couple years hasn't been up to the standards. How do you go about trying to make that group stronger this season?
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, it's a whole program deal. You know, I know Coach Wilson's done a tremendous job with those guys in the off season, and you know, just trying to get their weights where we think they should be. So it hopefully it gives them advantage, helps them perform better on Saturdays. So it's all that. I think a little bit would be how we try to practice and the things we're challenging those guys to do, the physicality that Coach Tucker expects of this team, and so that bleeds through everybody, but it starts with them. So it's that constant staying on those guys and with those expectations.
And what have you seen from kind of like LaVisca and Katie? Have they like taken on younger guys under their wings? What have you seen from like a leadership perspective?
Yeah, I think it's been real positive. I think both of them have. Obviously, a little bit harder for Visca since, you know, he really, with his injury, he's kind of just starting too here in fall camp. You know, heck, he's only had the whatever 7, 8, I don't know how many days we're on. You know, where those other guys had spring. So he's still learning some of the things too, because he wasn't in a situation to be able to do it in the spring. But definitely some of those other guys, you see them helping out the younger guys, getting them lined up, and all that, and showing some good leadership.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, thanks guys. Have a great